I do believe that you can have that wound and heal from that wound, and you'll be emotionally able to provide for your woman. So it's not that you have somebody who had a terrible relationship with their mother, and that means no matter if they've gone to therapy and healed for it or they haven't, their damaged goods don't deal with them. No, I've seen men have issues with their mother, very serious issues with their mother, and work through that in therapy, and now they're very good with expressing themselves emotionally just like everybody else. So I just wanted to point out that other side.
All right. Raina, I'm not sure. Are you with us?
I can hear.
Okay. Did you want to respond? I'm not sure if you heard anything, but did you want to respond?
You tried.
You might have to join us in spirit.
I was about to put in the back chat. I commend her,
Damn.
she
I
admitted.
honestly was like
The
getting
resilience.
kicked in and
Yeah,
out.
I got that.
So what's the question?
The question is, why are you streaming from Boost Mobile? That's the question.
Lord Jesus, have mercy, no.
I'm joking. No, I'm not.
So it's not Boost Mobile, it's T-Mobile.
Come back to you. I'm gonna come back to you up on the back end.
Your
I mean,
cell phone service didn't nurture you properly.
I'm gonna come back to you up on the back end. Just kind of sit tight real quick and just absorb some of the perspectives in there. I think you may have a perspective after this, especially once the men talk, because I know Sweeney definitely got something to say. Go ahead, brother Sweeney. I'm giving the mic to you, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, when he got his hand on his head like that, he about to cook.
Real quick, shit. Why didn't you tell that woman to stop yelling at a kid like that?
Well, here's the thing. I had my son with me. And the way she was so volatile, how she was like, it was like she was saying little stuff that was pissing me off. But the thing is, I was sitting behind her so I could hear her, but I couldn't. And some things you can't say anything because people today, you don't know where their mental state is. And if I got my son with me, my first thing is to make sure my son is protected. So I'm not going to get into no fisticuffs with somebody. I also am a mandated reporter, but I don't know the lady and I don't know her son's name. So I can't call in a report. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Sometimes it's just stuff you just gotta stay out of. And you just pray for the best for whatever. But if I got my son with me, I'm not about to get into an argument with no other lady on the bus. It ain't worth it to me. So
had you seen a man doing that, would you have stepped in and said something?
double no, because if he dead by the time, he ain't got no problem hitting me or he ain't got no problem yelling at me either, calling me my name. I'm telling you, people today are so, they're at 100.
Especially on public transportation.
SEPTA
Walmart
gets
cussing her
busy.
son out.
Do not.
Have you ever seen?
Sorry.
That's going anywhere.
Have you ever checked a friend when they was berating their child?
I don't have friends like that. I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Yo, you can tell she lying about how she held that cup. I don't have friends like that.
I don't. Just like y'all say, y'all don't have friends that. I don't have friends that berate and break down their children. Like if their child does something wrong, they're going to say, "Yo, stop doing it," but they're not going to sit there and cuss their child out. Like I've never been around that.
So my mom.
I'm talking about complete strangers.
Yeah, my mom was dating this guy, and his daughter was terrible to her son. Like she was evil to her son. And his other daughter, she was great to her son. But this one was always nitpicking, like you were saying, always like picking at him. You so annoying and la 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 la. And I'm like, he was so wonderful. He's the most wonderful child, right? He was so smart, so energetic, so hype. So I loved him. I'm always giving him praise. But I'm not going to tell this woman every time we're at every family function, nitpicking her about her child, how she talks to him every day. Her father lets her talk to him like my mom's ex lets her talk to her son like this, and we in they space, and I'm minding my business. So I don't know. I've been there where I have said, I think he's fine, but I don't talk to him like that. Like I just don't. I don't want to fight her.
Well,
She crazy.
I feel like this is why
uh,
some men don't have confidence too, because a lot of confidence comes from your mother. When your dad is the strict one, that's like, you got to get it done. I don't care how
Yeah.
you feel. You better do it. You ain't coming in this house till it's done. Moms are the one that's like, here, baby, take this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's
Yeah.
the one that's giving you that's giving you that battery in your back when your dad is the hard one. You need the balance of both, honestly.
Yep.
But your mom is the one that's really pouring that into you, because when you don't have your mom, who's pouring that into you? Who is giving you that reassurance? Who's giving you that you can do it, baby? Who's giving you that? And so then men get out here in the world, especially in the dating world, and they either don't date or they date for the wrong reasons. They really don't have healthy relationships. It's really deep, and it really starts with mothers really cherishing their sons, honestly. We need
uh,
more of it. I see too much of mothers not cherishing their sons, especially black men. Like it's just hurtful to sometimes, because it's just like, what did he do to you? And the
so
crazy thing is, it's not even the son, it's the man you mad at. It's the
What
hurt
did
that
the
you can't get
daddy
over.
do to
It's
her?
because
Yep.
your parents weren't healthy for you, so now you really don't have a good example. It's just a bad
You don't
cycle.
know who his father is, so now you mad at the world. That's not our fault. That's not
Yeah.
his fault. That's your
Yep.
fault.
When women
Specifically
can
your
look at
fault.
their son and say, I hate you, or I don't like the things that you do, and things like that tears him down. That's like him getting a whooping from a stranger. But your
Yep.
mother is lashing those words out at you. Words are powerful, and when they come from your parents, and your parents are treating you like you're not anything, that's the worst.
so actually, to add on to what Precious said real quick, in this particular scenario, right, it's talking about how these men who have, first of all, we know that majority of men don't have terrible mamas, right? Most of them actually have damn pretty decent mamas. But let's talk about this particular scenario. And it says that they can't emotionally provide for their women. I think conversations like this negate the fact that oftentimes men see their mother's reflection in the women that they deal with. So not only do they mothers berate them and talk down on them, but then they go out into the world and then the women talk down on them and berate them. And then you expect a man to have positive conversations or positive emotions when he's dealing with that type of situation.
But he's choosing those type of women, though.
It doesn't. That's not my
It
point,
does
bro.
matter.
That's not my point. My
He's,
point
he's
is that
wired to see that. He's wired to accept that and to embrace that, because that's what he knows. That's
Yeah.
what he knows.
so,
He knows that type of stimuli. He
Mm-hmm.
knows it, and unfortunately, that's the toxicity within parents and children, because then the son, who's the next generation, is going to pass that down. If the generations fail when parents don't correct their ways, right? So if a mother is yelling at her son and things like that, he is going to know that stimuli. So he's going to react to it. The good
Yeah.
girl who is not yelling at him, or the woman that's, not really matching his energy, he's not going to look at her, and he's going to think that she's actually not interested in him, because he's
Mm-hmm.
used to that battle. As much as he really don't want to do it, he's still going to give that attention rather than the peaceful girl.
right.
And
That's
that's the
that's,
reason
that's
why we
basically
need therapy in order to break or disrupt that pattern. Because as kids, just like y'all say, we actually go out in the world and in some roundabout way look to relive our own childhoods and with other people. And the problem is, because if you grew up in a chaotic household, a chaotic relationship would seem familiar to you. It may not be the best, but that's where you feel the safest. Because I was telling the ladies in my coaching group, a lot of women want the knight in shining armor type of guy, but since they've never seen the knight in shining armor guy, it's not familiar, so it's so foreign to her where she may actually be scared of it or may feel unworthy of it, because the only knight in shining armor that she's ever seen were in these white women movies or Disney or whatever. So she may think this little black girl from the Bronx don't deserve a knight in shining armor. So she gets with that good guy and thinks, I don't really understand why we're here. I don't understand you. You don't understand me. What are we doing? I'm not familiar with you. You're foreign. It's like a different language. So we search for what we're familiar with. And with all that being said, that is the reason why we need men and women raising these children and not just women, because women mainly operate off of fears. And the reason why women tend to traumatize their children inadvertently is because they're afraid of the child getting molested. They're afraid of the child being a failure. They're afraid of the child growing up like their dad. They're afraid of the child doing something or not doing something. And she's literally instilling all of these fears into the child. So the child grows up as a grown man, and now he actually fears women. These dudes on YouTube, they don't hate women. They fear women. If you listen to what they talk about, they talk about, oh, these women going to take our money. These women going to have of it. It's fear. Where did it come from? Came from their mothers. Their mothers instilled fear. That's why I would date a single mother.
That's not true, man.
Hold on. I would date a single mother. I would get remarried. I would, I can't have another child, but when I could have a child, I would have had another child, because I'm not afraid of women. I didn't have fear instilled in me. And I think men and women are instilled with pure fear. That's why women are afraid of men. And to a certain degree, men are afraid of women. Men are literally afraid of black women in so many ways.